at Home continuation of the series. Today, I'm Tom McCubbin, based here in southwest Scotland, and I'm going to be going through small wheel loaders and specifically in the industry and waste segment. So, what do I do at Caterpillar? I'm the product specialist for the small wheel loaders for Europe, Africa, and Middle East. If anybody's got any questions as we're going through this, feel free to stick them in the chat, or we'll get to them at the end, or if they pop up during the screen, I'll try and answer them as we go. So, a small wheel loader and a waste handler specifically. So we've spoke to our customers over decades working within this industry, and we've realized that the best way to this segment in the waste and recycling industry is one of the harshest environments that you can possibly put a wheel loader into. So therefore, what we've tied to the waste handler badge, as you can see below the cat sticker, is we've put a lot of items on this machine to protect the machine. And a lot of this can be done from factory, so you can get, when it arrives with you can have a full solution ready to go. So you'll notice we have 11 different guards. A lot of this is below the machine. On the back here, we've got the rear door guard as well, and we also have a cab front screen guard. And finally, the tilt cylinder guard. So nothing is left exposed on these machines going through this heavy duty application. As well as guarding, which is the obvious thing to protect your machine, we also have some debris packages, as we know that some of the other options on your machine are also sort of could get damaged. So here we've got a reversing fan to keep that engine running clean, as well as a turbine pre-cleaner, number 14. So therefore that machine is constantly pulling in clean air. We've got a sealed alternator, again, to keep the debris out for the high debris environments. And we also have, you'll notice this big box on the back of the cab, number 15. So this here is a turbine pre-cleaner, and this keeps the operator safe as we try to keep the operator in sort of clean conditions. So this also has a monitor in the cab, so he knows exactly what's going on. Finally, we also have on the front of the machine, you see work tools, so a high dump bucket. And this high dump bucket is a cat owned work tool, so we can complete you a solution right from top to tail. Just bear with me as I try to change slides. There we are. So one thing that we notice is important and also a very high cost consumption on your machine is tires. So here we actually have a wide range available from the factory. We know that waste environments are not all just one type of application. We have a few different ones. So we've got solid tires available for you guys running on concrete sites like the image here, with broken glass, broken plastic, anything that's likely to cut a tire. And these solid tires are puncture proof. There's no air, so they can't go flat. Then next down you have an L5 tire, which is the hardest, the most rubber in it for an air tire, and we call these puncture resistant. So on your slightly less sites with less obstacles to cut your tires. And then you go down to green waste, which is sort of more on muck and composting. And here we've got an L3 tire to give you guys a bit more grip when you're off-road. So why am I talking about tires? So we have a feature on these machines which actually works really well, especially in the waste industry with solid, expensive tires. So on the bottom right of the screen where my face is, apologies, we'll just move that a second. We actually have two rubber tire marks, and here this is showing you what happens when you spin the tires. So we've got a lot of operators who are very accelerator pedal happy, and they only think the machine is actually working when the tires are spinning. However, when you're spinning your tires, you're just spending a lot of money on rubber that you can see is left by black marks. You actually have maximum grip just as your tire is about to lose traction and start spinning. So how can we maximize this performance? So here we've got rim pull control, so we can limit the wheel torque to the floor of the ground, and we can sort of set that to match your ground specifications, and we can do that within the operator. So there's no need to call out your dealer to set this. This also maximizes the tire life, as we're not just burning endless amount of rubber. And there is, with this feature, there's no reduction in loader arm performance. So again, waste and recycling sites, sorry, we're focusing on those. So some certain things, different countries, different sites, they all have different height requirements to what you need that dump height to be. Here we have a picture of a lorry. However, as I said, different countries, different lorry heights. So we wanted to offer a complete CAT solution to you guys in the waste and recycling industry. So therefore, we've got some different options from the factory to allow you guys to configure your machine specifically for your customer and customers to get the right machine to do the right job and keep you guys happy. So we've got this high lift loader arm option, which is just longer loader arms to get more dump height. We've also, when we've been designing these loader arms, we've optimized them with the CAT light material buckets and the CAT high dump buckets. So we have these work tool options available from your local dealer as well, just to really maximize the performance of your overall solution. So at the bottom, you'll also notice that we have 4 different heights, dump heights, all for the same machine. So again, this is where we want you to contact your CAT salesman. We want you to look at your material densities and your minimum dump height requirements. And we want to get you the right solution for your job site. So here you can see we've got standard lift machine on the left, high lift machine with a standard bucket on second from the left. Then as we move across, we get standard lift with high dump, and then finally we get high lift with high dumps. And if you look at the small wheel loader specalogs on cat.com, all the information on terms of material densities and bucket selection tables are actually in there. So another feature that's really benefiting our waste customers, and we sort of try and put them on the majority of our waste handlers, these actually come standard on the small wheel loaders. So I say the word kickouts, but what do I mean? So in the industry, a lot of customers, you guys will understand these as return to digs. So here we've got electronic sensors on the side of the linkage that will, so if I, for example, if I drop my bucket to this height and then press one of the buttons on the 8-button keypad for 2 seconds, it will flash and beep at me. And that will be the machine recognizing the level that you want the machine to drop the bucket to every time that you can push the joystick. You'll feel a click, and then you take your hand off the joystick and the machine will do the rest. So a lot of you'll be thinking this is a nice to have feature, but how does it benefit my wallet? So we've actually found certain customers, if we've went and set this up correctly for their sites, that they are saving their bucket cutting edge life is actually doubling. Just due to people not pushing down on the cutting edge where unnecessary. So kickouts, the machine does all the work. It puts the bucket back to where you'd ideally want it. We've got one on the tilt cylinder. We've got a lower height and an upper height one. But how do we sort of refine this to give the Caterpillar waste handlers the edge? So we've got this thing called cylinder snubbing that will actually dampen at the end of the cycle when the machine is trying to return the bucket to that level. So what do I mean by this? For example, if we didn't have this cylinder snubbing, say this is our ground level again, our bucket could come down and just hit it. And what would this mean for you? Well, this would mean as an operator, you'd be shaking all over your seat. And once this bang happens, you will also see material coming out the bucket due to the vibration through the bucket, through the loader arms, through the machine. So what we've got in the Caterpillar wheel loaders is as you come back down to level to your preset position, the last couple of centimeters, the bucket will slow down and will stop. So therefore, this gives the operator maximum comfort whilst also retaining maximum material. So far, I've touched on quite a lot of the um, certain specifications. All this is available from the factory. Please contact your local cat dealer if you have any more questions on this. But in the meantime, I'm quite happy to answer any questions that may have come in on the chat over the last 10 minutes or so. Just let me flick the screen. So, good question from Ben. What type of transmission does the Cat small wheel loader have? Is it torque converter or hydrostatic? So, a lot of our competitors have torque converters and a lot of them have hydrostatics. But where's the advantage, disadvantage? I'm not going to get into that. But one thing that our Caterpillar wheel loader has is we have an intelligent hydrostatic system. So what does this allow us to do? We can make the machine feel like 100% hydrostatic, depending on operator preference, or we can make the machine feel like a torque converter. So the main difference between the two is when you take your foot, basically in order to move a hydrostatic machine forward, you have to put input into the accelerator pedal, whereas a torque converter machine will move forward without any input if you put your machine into forward. However, as I said, through our intelligent high stat on these Cat small wheel loaders, we can set these machines up for you, the customer, however you want them to operate. So yeah, good question, Ben. Do we have any more? Sorry. So that's a hello from Matt. So hello, how are you doing? Hope you're safe and well in these times. If we have no further questions, I'll just wrap this up. As I say, if any questions come up in the meantime, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll come back to you. You also have, as a reference, you've got your local cat dealer. Those guys are really professional. They know what they're doing. They'll help you out as well as they can. And just on that, I'd like to thank you for listening to this session on small wheel loaders within the waste and recycling industry. And hopefully we'll see you again for these Cat at Home series, with the next one being next Tuesday at 12 UK time. Thank you and have a good day.